Okay, so today I want to talk about what I've actually learned at university over the past 3 years because it isn't what you might expect, and it's certainly not history, which is what my degree's in. um, and it's all kind of weird because recently I've just, as of like the last week, finished my dissertation, which, if you don't know, is your final year kind of project that you do in your undergraduate for your BA. If you study like a humanities degree, it's a bit of a weird feeling because it's kind of marked the end of the chapter at university for me. And I think in one way it's kind of easy to feel a little bit like scared about the future, but in another, I don't, because I have built this agency, I've built the business to a point where I'm really, really excited to be able to go full time on it. I want to hire my friend to help me scale the business, and I've just got a clear plan. I've got a rough idea in my head of where I want to go over the next, at least 18 to 24 months. And it's weird. The weird thing is, university is the only thing responsible for this, but it's also kind of the thing that got in the way. Let me kind of explain. So, I have always been kind of entrepreneurial minded, I would say. I've always knew I wanted to be a business owner one day. I've tried and experimented with so many different businesses. I tried to start a clothing brand called Prodigy Apparel when I was 13. Haven't we all had that phase? I tried to do a Meals on Wheels service. I thought I could create an app where you could kind of scan the food that you'd have in your fridge and then it'd tell you recipe suggestions, which I'm pretty sure AI can do now anyway. And then I wanted to start an AI consultancy for schools in 2024, 2023. So basically, yeah, I've been trying a lot of different things, and along the way of those ups and downs, I kind of just kept going. And when I went to university, there were lots of different ideas. I kind of knew, well, actually, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do with my life. However, I kind of knew having 3 years at uni would be, hopefully, a great opportunity to experiment with stuff, right? And try stuff out. So that's what I did. And a couple months into my university experience, thanks to Ali Abdal, who inspired me to get into the YouTube game, I started posting on YouTube. I made one video once every single week I stuck at that for I want to say the best part of about 14 months. It went really well. I grew the channel to 30,000 subscribers. Videos were hitting multiple hundreds of thousands of views. Not every one, but a fair few. And it was so fun. And the crazy thing is, if I actually look back at my 3 different years at university, they each kind of represent something different. And I think they each show me something interesting about the way we actually learn. Because university realistically has everything kind of backwards. Thing is, you never really learn through theory alone, right? If I just sat down and watched every single course on YouTube and YouTube growth, it wouldn't help, right? There would be no sort of benefit for me to do that, because at the end of the day, what I would want to do from all of that learning is implement it, use that and grow my own channel. And we kind of get that the wrong way round with university, because we start with what are we going to learn, which can be interesting. Don't get me wrong, I've had some interesting lecturers, I've had some interesting classes, but it's really weird because I have an exam coming up and I'm great, I'm weirdly excited to take the exam because I really enjoyed the class, but it's I know it's not really going to help me. And it feels weird, right? Because if you're a university student in that position who doesn't have a business, who doesn't have a path that they know they're going to follow, it just feels a bit weird. What's the point of all of this? You've just stored all of this knowledge to then show it in an exam, but then not to use it after and not apply it, really. I mean, you can say there's soft skills like critical thinking, but for the most part, the actual stuff that you learn beyond being interesting isn't going to be then used in the real world. So what did I take away instead from my time at university, I suppose, and what am I really glad I did? Because I kind of learned something different in each of the 3 years. So in the first year, this was kind of just me trying a lot of different things, right? So I was still trying this AI consulting business, and I even made a website, and it wasn't very good, but I didn't have any of the business skills. So this was just a year of me just learning loads of different skills, in addition to trying to have a good time at uni. So, this was going from 0 to 1, I guess, with the YouTube channel. I had my first video get kind of viral-ish. It had like 50,000 views. And obviously during this time, I'm learning about like cameras, I'm learning about editing, I'm learning about how social media actually works to grow a channel. I'm learning about thumbnails, graphic design, so many things, and mainly like consistency too, just sticking with something for a long time in the early stages when you don't really see many results. And I think oftentimes we see a lot of people who say they want to start a business, say they want to have some sort of like, I don't know, social media channel, whatever, but they don't appreciate, and I don't think it's a very common knowledge almost, that it does just take like 3-4 years really before you start to see the real fruits of your labour, which I'll get to in a second. So yeah, that first year was all about just consistency with one thing when I sucked, and I continued to suck for a very long time. But obviously, if you commit to doing something every single week, a little bit like I'm doing with these videos every day, you just get better and you improve, because you can improve one little thing over time, a la Atomic Habits, 1% improvements, yada, yada, yada. Which brings us on to year 2. So I'd say after this point, I kind of reached a good level of knowledge in YouTube. And we came to a point like, I think it was about October, November time of 2024, where I had kind of mastered, I would say, the basics of what makes a good YouTube video, like how to improve the retention, what makes like a good thumbnail, how to structure your videos, how to script your videos, like how to talk to camera. And yeah, it paid off. Like one video got 500,000 views, next one got like 600,000. And then I had loads of other kind of wins along the way. But at this point, although I kind of learned quite a lot just by doing, which is different to university, but just by doing the action of trying to post and get better on YouTube, I kind of ran into a new problem of like, okay, well, now I actually want to turn this into a real business, right? I want to make money from it besides AdSense and sponsorships. So I kind of did what I knew best in a way. Well, I don't know best, but like I signed up to a mentorship program from a guy called Ed Lawrence. And at the time, I remember jumping on a sales call. I didn't know this was a sales call. I thought this, this was a whole new world to me, the online kind of high ticket sales and seeing. I just like jumped on the sales call. I thought the guy was just trying to help me. And then he pitched the offer, the price. It was like $8,800. I was like, what? I was expecting it to be maybe like 5,000 max. Even then, it was like insane. But no, this was just insane. So I politely said no in October. I couldn't justify that. And then, I had those few viral videos, and I could come back in January, like very confident that it was the right time. And it was a big plunge, I guess. But I did it. I paid the money, and I just learned so much in that mentorship. I'd say even in those 6 months, like I didn't start to make a lot more money, but I learned so many skills, like copywriting. Again, I think my video skills improved because Ed's course was just fantastic. Getting the mentorship from him and the guidance of like, oh, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong, change this, tweak that. I launched my first product. Again, it didn't sell fantastically, this digital product, but like it, again, introduced me to a lot of skills now that I'm so much better at because I tried in the early stages of like, okay, this is how you build a landing page, this is how you write a headline, this is how you build out an email sequence, this is how you grow your email list. All of these things were stuff you could theoretically learn in a textbook, but you don't know how to fix a sales page on Framer until you're actually like in the weeds working on your laptop in the middle of a cafe thinking, why the heck is this font not lining up to the text? So and then I kind of continued doing that, and then the last year of university was very interesting because I kind of combined what I learned in the first year of YouTube and the second year, a little bit of business, and continued along the time, like the way to keep going and keep trying to grow my channel and reading business books and seeing what I could do to grow. And it was awesome. But at the same time, I kind of realized okay, this is a bit weird at the minute because I'm trying to grow my channel in the sort of productivity space, in a space that I'm kind of interested in a little bit, but I actually realized along the way that I love marketing, I love psychology, I love copywriting, I love design, all of these things that are more business centric than productivity alone. Although productivity was a part of my life, it wasn't what I was really passionate in and interested in. So I kind of mentioned this before, but I stopped trying to grow that channel. I reached out to other YouTube channels and basically said hey, look, let me help you. Let me help you try and, make more money for your own channel. And I've done this myself. I've grown my own channel. I want to give you some video ideas. I want to give you some feedback. I want to help you with your landing pages, your sales pages. And that kind of came into the business, the agency that is One Move Marketing now. And I think it's just so interesting looking back at this journey now, at this kind of time at the end of university, where it might seem like, you know, this has been a bit of an overnight thing, like the business growth. However, it's really not been. And I've just kind of need to remind myself and appreciate that over these last 3 years, I've just put in a lot of work and a lot of hours and time into learning the skill of YouTube, learning the skill of online business. And I'm still so like young and inexperienced in the world. I've got so much more to learn. It's really exciting, but I think it just shows you that university is very weird because you don't learn really by just theory alone, right? We know this, especially with AI these days. It's just that skill is not as valuable as it is before. But the skill of learning through trying stuff, failing, sucking for a long time and getting better every single time, like going to the gym. I love this analogy, but it's like going to the gym. In the early stages, you suck. You don't know how to lift a weight. You don't know how to do a pull-up. I still don't know how to do a pull-up. But, you know, you have to get better. You have to break your body down a little bit by a little bit to come back stronger. And learning anything is exactly the same. So I guess to bring it full circle, would I recommend university? God, I don't know. No, if your plan is just to like to go out and drink and try and experience a bit of adulthood, whatever. If you want to do that, save up a bit of money, work for a bit, and then go to Thailand for like 6 months. You're just going to have a better time. The parties are going to be better anyway. It's going to be cheaper, and you're going to do a heck of a lot more growing up in that time, I think, than at university. But if you are going to use university as a time to try stuff out and fail at stuff, which is something that Robert Greene talks about a lot, the guy who authored, you know, like 48 Laws of Power, all of those sort of books. He talks about the 20s as a time where you want to be trying stuff, you want to be failing, you want to be seeing what you like, what you don't like. And university is a great time for that. So I think as long as you're committing to learning by doing, by trying, by putting yourself out there, then you can't really go wrong. So hopefully that helps some of you. I just felt very compelled to make this video today. And yeah, it's fun. Like, this challenge is good. I didn't massively feel like making a video today. I'm pretty tired still, but you know, I can feel myself getting back into the swing of making videos. I do genuinely think like this skill of public speaking, no matter what avenue you're in, is super beneficial for if you're just chatting with a friend, chatting with a new person, going to a networking event, speaking on stage eventually, doing masterminds eventually, all things I want to do, and not least speaking to camera and riffing and just having the ability to turn the camera presence on like that, like an actor would. That is one of the best skills you can have. And I'm, again, kind of putting my words into practice without even realizing if you go back to this first video, hopefully you'll notice like a trend upwards of my skill because I've committed to learning by doing, not just theory. There we go. Very poignant end to the video. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, friends.